There we go. We are live.
We are indeed.
We were just saying, we're never on time. Welcome, Ian. It's been far too long. We're so pleased to get you on to have a chat. How are you?
Really well. Yeah, not too bad. No. And I've been meaning to come on for a long time. We just kind of keep missing each other, don't we? But
Yeah.
I'm a regular viewer of the live stream and really enjoy what you guys are doing with it.
Yeah. Well, your channel is so popular with so many people. You're into the same sort of stuff as I am. It's just, been looking forward to this one. We are live, obviously. If you are viewing live, you can say hello in the side chat. If you've got any questions, please pop them in. It is hard to keep track of the live chat. If we missed your question, just keep putting it back in. We'll try and get to it at some point. What we like to do, firstly, Ian, is say a few hellos. So if you don't mind, we'll do that quickly before cracking on with the chat. We've got a lot.
Absolutely. We've got some big names in the chat. I've already seen some big names.
We've got Secret Carper. You are very welcome. Looking forward to hearing from Ian. Good stuff. Hello, Paul. Good to see you. Do you want to do?
Ross says. I laughed at this earlier. I read this earlier. Good evening, Nick, Andrea, not Angela, and Master of Pieces. Can't come on. No, can't come up. Oh, I've started early tonight. Can't come up with an update this week, but just about to have dinner and watch this. Okay.
Fantastic.
Nice to have you in.
We'll say a few more. We have Mark and Helen. There's a lovely
Lainey said that you're doing the channel hop, which is fabulous.
I am, yes. I have signed up for the channel hop. Don't know what it's about, but keen to give it a go.
Yeah. Well, we're just trying to raise some money for the Stroke Association, and we're basically just hopping from one channel to another for several hours.
Yeah, it's
a great fun.
It's a great way to get as many people involved as possible. Spread the word that we're raising money in memory of our dear friend Stephen, who lost his life sadly to a stroke. That's the short and curlies of it. Looking forward to that. Okay, a few more hellos before we crack on. Project Games, hello. Barry, there's the lovely Sharon. Everyone's looking forward to this. You got a lot to live up to now, Ian.
No, it'll be good. It'll be fun, and there is some big names in the chat. Matt Mills is in here as well. I can see Pans is in. We got Kev. Kev, how did Carlisle do this weekend? Let me know. Market Man Mike is in. Market Man Mike, absolute gentleman. He'll be buying drinks for everyone in the chat room. Project Games will get the cigars in later. It's fine.
Yeah, welcome Lee, Panzer, all sorts of people. So welcome. I'm going to try and get down to the end of the chat so we can keep up with it. Yeah, Matthew there. Good to see you all together at last. See Ian frequently at the boot sales. Nice, local to you then.
In Sally, yep. That is the big boot sale near me. I think most of the resellers in our area tend to congregate there. So yeah, nice to see you, Matt.
AC says, evening. Ian was the first reseller I saw on YouTube and is still my favorite, even though I don't sell in his niche at all. Excellent. High praise indeed.
There we are. Nice to see you, AC.
So welcome everybody, and please do be active in the side chat. If you've got questions, pop them in there and we'll try and get onto them. So I guess what we want to know is, how did you get into this? What is your story? We've kind of put in the title that you turned your hobby into a successful eBay business and YouTube channel. So how would you sum that up? And then we can dig into that a bit.
Yeah, pretty much just how you described it with the title there. I think I entered the reselling world not through your traditional route. Never went to any boot sales, never went to charity shops. It was never on my radar. What was on my radar was just collecting. I've always collected stuff. Ever since I was little, through to now, I'm always just a collector, nigh on hoarder. And I've found there's certain points in life, it's going to get quite deep quite early. There's certain points in life where you get nostalgic in there. And for me, classic is when your kids are born. You get it midlife. You get it when your parents might pass on. But I had this massive nostalgic wave when my first son was born, which was 8 years ago now. And whatever it was, I don't know what it was, but it was like, I want to just do some Lego. I really fancy doing some Lego. So I was on Facebook Marketplace and I found this big bundle of Lego, right? And I bought it. I was putting it all together using Bricklink to kind of complete all the sets. And then I just sold some of it just to cover the cost of what I wanted to keep. And it was a rinse and repeat cycle, right? I was doing it with Lego. That's how I learned how to use eBay. And not particularly successful. I think with Lego, there's so much leeway. It's so popular, isn't it? That you don't have to have very good pictures. You don't have to have a good title. I was selling everything on auction because I didn't even know what buy it now was. But it was just selling because it's Lego, right? And then you know how the algorithm works. You're on Marketplace looking for Lego, and then all of a sudden, Transformers bundle popped up. Transformers, what? I was well into Transformers, so I bought that. And then a big Warhammer bundle popped up. I was like, you know what? I fancy painting some of that. So I did that. And then all of a sudden, I'd accumulated all of this stock, which didn't actually cost me anything because I was selling little bits off to cover the cost.
Mm-hmm.
And then that was it. I was into eBay. I knew how eBay worked. And the first bundle I remember actually of being a reselling bundle was a Game Boy bundle. I bought a couple of Game Boy Pockets with some Game Boy games with the intent to play them. And I played through a couple of games, right? And I was like, you know, I've had my fun with this. I'm just going to sell it all on. That was the first bundle. I didn't keep one thing in it. And I think that's what really made me think, actually, there's a fair bit of money in this.
It's interesting. I'll just stop you there for a sec. That echoes my story quite closely, weirdly. I was a collector of everything, you name it, I used to collect it. And that's how I found eBay and how I got into reselling, really. And it also echoes Ben Fitzpatrick, if you remember him, his story.
Yeah.
It is maybe more common than you think as a way into
Perhaps
this.
It is.
Because through trying to find bits for your collection or getting that bug, you find out, okay, this stuff is worth a lot of money online. Because you're out there, as you say, buying up bundles. I'm doing it now with vinyl. Vinyl is now my curse, if you like. Constantly finding collections if I can, or job lots of bands I'm into. Keep the couple of bits I need, sell the rest, and make my money back. And it's a great way to fund an expensive collection, as I'm sure you know.
Absolutely. And also because you're looking for things that you enjoy, you look for the things that you get pleasure in. It's an easy thing to kind of research. There's an innate passion there as well. It's not a chore, is it?
No,
it never has been. I mean, we branch out. I think we all tend to branch out. I mean, you're known for toys, but I see you pick up all sorts, right? So we do branch out, and sometimes I branch out too far and into areas I'm not that into, and it gets left. I mean, look at the state of this behind me. But yeah, most of what I buy because I like it. Simple as that. Yeah,
absolutely.
Can I share something with you? Because I saw you were dabbling back in the Warhammer recently. This was a nice little find today.
Oh, go on.
Yeah, it's nice. Only £3.
Yeah, brand new. Are they still on the sprue, or have they been
not on the sprue?
They're
not painted. And sadly, it's missing one of the 8. But for £3, the box is worth that.
Absolutely. Lovely little find. Charity shop number?
No, we were coming back home from Folkestone. As I said to you, we went away for the weekend to Folkestone. Coming back, there was a kind of a yard sale thing up the high street in Deal. And there was just a vintage seller, and I just had that randomly on the store. But I gave the chap my number because he's got more figures, or his friend's got more figures. So that might lead to something. Yeah. So I've got a few questions. So you talked about how you got into this.
Yeah.
So you got into it as a collector. Are you still collecting? And what are your favorite things to collect? And are they the same things that are your favorites to resell? How is that?
So that kind of answers Lainey's question, which you've got on the screen there. What's your favorite toy to sell and why? Is Transformers. And it's a love-hate relationship. I love Transformers. I love collecting them. I love building them. But I love selling them on as well. They are so collectible and so liquid that they don't hang around your store for long. And the people who I target with my Transformers are other collectors as well. So you can get a bit geeky and get a bit descriptive in the title, knowing that you're going to find that exact person. And in fact, this weekend I have sold a couple. But it is something I collect. It's always a big pull. You know, do I add it to the collection? Does it go in the eBay pile? And I think it's the only thing I've ever regretted selling as well would be a couple of Transformers. I wish I hadn't, but you live and learn, don't you?
Yeah, we've all had those regrets.
Yeah, we have.
Our big regret was both of us selling our vinyl collections way back in the early 2000s. I've since bought all of it back, and you're working on it.
Well, we didn't have a record player at that point, and we were like, well, what are we doing with it? We're just looking at it.
Yeah. Funnily enough, you said about having your kids made you look back and perhaps start bringing things in. We kind of went the other way, and it shook it. We were renting a tiny house, had a baby, trying to make ends meet, and we sold loads of stuff. We went the other way. It was weird. But yeah, that's our main regret anyway.
Yeah.
Also, when my mother sold off my Zoids collection, were you ever into Zoids?
Bit before my time, that, Nick, but yeah, I am aware of Zoids.
Yeah.
But I mean, parents do that. My mum sold off all my strawberry shortcakes on a boot sale, and I wish I still had them.
I can still feel the pain.
Hello.
I can feel that from you.
Sharon asks, what's your best find, value-wise and rarity? Right.
So best find for me. So to put in context, I'm not a big reseller. I'm not someone who's here to make tons and tons of money per month. And a big sale for me is anything above 50 quid. But my best find would be, I found a box full of football stickers. And these aren't old stickers. They were from 2004. And it was an album which was released only in England because England were in that tournament. And there was a football sticker of Lionel Messi. And it's his first appearance in the World Cup. I bought the box for 2-3 quid, just someone swaps. And this sticker was really good condition, right? No creases in it. The corners were lovely and sharp. It was dead center, and that's rare for a sticker. I sent it to America, and I got it graded. So graded means they encapsulate it in a plastic case, and they give you a mark out of 10. That's the condition. And this come back 9 out of 10. Really, really good condition. And I sold that last month for £220. Wow. So football sticker. So it's a classic car boot find. Take a chance on it. Do a little bit of research and decide to get it graded, and then reap the rewards. But my best sales have been football stickers or Pokemon cards. Little bits of cardboard that big.
Yeah,
a couple of £100.
Yeah, Pokemon is a world onto its own. When we had our high street store, we would sell the sealed blister packs, and we had accounts with them and that. But I never got into singles with that. My game was Magic the Gathering, and I've sold some pretty valuable ones of those. But I just don't really understand Pokemon. It's crazy. It's bonkers.
Yeah.
RJ is asking, how much did the grading cost?
So grading, there's lots of things that go into grading. Firstly, how quick do you want it back? What company do you want to grade it with? Now, I chose PSA. They're the popular one, and it took 8 weeks to get back. So it's not a particular quick turnaround, and that cost £17.50 per card. So you have to be relatively confident that your card is going to get a decent grade. Otherwise, you're just throwing £17.50 away. But I have been trialing out a UK-based grading company. That's £7 a card. But because their brand name doesn't have the status of what the American cards companies have, they just don't sell for as much.
Right.
Yeah.
And then having it graded will add a significant percentage to the value, I would assume. Otherwise, there's no point, right?
Depends what it is. I mean, if it's a rare card and you get a good grade, then yes, you can add hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands. If it's not a particularly popular or desirable card, even if it gets a really good grade, no one wants to buy it because it's not a desirable card. So the decision to grade becomes a decision you make when you actually buy the card, when you have the actual card in hand. It's not so much driven by, if it gets a 10, it's definitely going to make you a lot of money. It's got to be the right card.
Yeah, I've never gone down that route. No. It fascinates me. It really does, but I've never tried that.
Yeah, well, don't ask Project Games about grading. He had a submission come back the other day. It was absolutely terrible. And there's and that is part of the risk. You know, you can look at it and you think this is a good card, right? But if the grader doesn't agree, you can spend a lot of money and not get much back. Yeah. Matt won't mind me saying that.
And they must be looking for minute, tiny imperfections. Anyway, that's a whole other show we could go into.
We could. But yeah, I was going to say, Nick, I only told you the very first small part of my story.
Exactly. That's what I wanted to get back to.
Was it? Yeah. So for me, at that time when I first started reselling, success for me was covering the cost of my collection. I could collect for free. When reselling actually properly kicked off was post-COVID, just after COVID, when my second son was born. And at the time I had 2 kids under 3 years old. Childcare, right? If anyone in the chat has got young kids, you know how expensive and how hard it is to find good childcare. And doing the maths, I worked out that if I reduced my full-time job, which I am in a full-time job, if I reduce my hours from 5 days to 4 days, look after my kids so I don't pay that childcare, all I had to make was something like 30 quid a week. And I would be financially equivalent to if I was working 5 days a week and putting my kids into childcare. So that was the decision I took. I thought, let's go down to 4 days. And then success for me as a reseller was only making £30 a month. And in that, I was going to the charity shops. It was a great excuse to take my kids out and keep them entertained as well. They could just sit in with the toys while I was there with my phone, looking at the board games, looking at the sold listings. So it was kind of a double-edged sword. And the old grannies in the shop loved the kids coming in as well. They loved it. So it was kind of paid childcare with me finding some stuff to sell. That was kind of the intermediate phase of my reselling.
Interestingly, when you spoke to me before when we were arranging this, you said that the goal has never been to go full time, and that's really interesting for you to hear. Let's talk a little bit about that.
Okay, yeah, and that's exactly the position that I'm in now. So both my kids are now in school, so I don't have that childcare burden, but I still am down to 4 days a week. And to be completely open with you now, my aim is to only earn £500 profit per month after tax. And that's from my eBay earnings and from my YouTube earnings. And I choose £500 because that's how much I can then overpay my mortgage with. So I overpay my mortgage with £500 a month. That's my tangible goal. That's my benefit for doing reselling, right? So because of that, I've knocked 15 years duration off of my mortgage. I'll be mortgage free in 6 years' time. And the reason I don't want to go full-time is I don't hate my full-time job. Yeah. A lot of people see success and the end goal to reselling as it becoming your full-time job. And I really don't think it needs to be.
No.
And yeah, I can go into that in a bit more if you want.
Yeah. Well, it's an interesting take because like you said when we were chatting before, a lot of people, that is the goal. That's the kind of purpose of building a business is to do it full time. But it really doesn't have to be. And in many ways, your situation is better because you have the best of both worlds. You've got a reliable income you can bank on, if you like. Mm-hmm. And you've got the joy of putting the effort into your own thing and building that up on the side.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No, absolutely. I think let's be honest. Anyone who's in full-time employment with an employer, 95% of people don't enjoy what they do. What they can hope to get out of it is fulfillment. Have you done a good job this week? Have you achieved goals? Have you made a difference? Is there a way for you to progress? That type of thing. Can you get fulfillment from your job? No one enjoys it. You don't go there skipping down the street thinking, I'm going to work today. Fantastic. It's a different feeling. It would be the minority. It'd be the minority. Because it's a job.
Yeah.
The thing that keeps reselling brilliant for me is I don't have that pressure of it being a job. And it means I can buy and sell what I want. I'm not tied to making any particular monthly income from it. It's purely there for the joy. And if I was to drop my full-time job, and I get fulfillment from that. So why would I drop that to then make eBay and YouTube my full-time job and put that pressure on it?
Yep.
I just can't see it.
And honestly, Ian, it does change the game instantly, because then there is a demand on it, and it changes it mentally, doesn't it? It is suddenly work, and it is suddenly everything relies on us turning over X amount a month.
Yeah.
Right.
And
so
even though we really enjoy it and really wouldn't want to do much else, but
there's still pressure there.
Yeah, there's still the pressure there.
Yeah.
There is pressure. Yeah, there is. But,
right.
Yeah, but then that is self-imposed pressure as well. That's pressure because you want to succeed at it, you know.
Well, there is, but there's also just the basic financials that you have to meet. That's a really good motivating factor to, you know, earn what we have to, for sure. We'll ask quickly, if you don't mind, what is it you do? What is your?
So I'm a chartered civil engineer. I went to university, did my master's degree, and I've been doing that for 16 years now. What civil engineer is, because that's the first thing people ask. What is a civil engineer? I have started to put parts of my job into my YouTube videos as well, just to give a bit of context. So the last project I worked on was a primary school up in the valleys, and I designed all the earthworks, the retaining structures, the drainage for it. To plug it into the utility network. I made sure that whatever the architect's concept was, it could actually be built. So it is fulfilling, and I get paid pretty well for it. And to give that up with the risks of something like eBay and YouTube, which certainly don't match the hourly rate that I do for my full-time job, there's not enough pros for me to do it.
Exactly. And the one big thing that isn't mentioned enough is the benefits of having employment, the paid leave. I mean, I could go on, right? We don't have any of those safety nets. So there's a lot.
Exactly. And, you know, it might be preaching to the wrong crowd here, but there is nothing wrong with having stability. Nothing wrong at all. You know, going the full-time route and having all that risk, it'll only suit a certain type of person. Nothing wrong with being stable. Like I say, a guaranteed income, and I've got guaranteed outgoings here. I've got responsibilities here, and I don't want to put that in jeopardy.
I'm with you. Totally. You highlighted.
David asked the question, what's your least favorite part of reselling?
David's in. It's my least favorite part of reselling. 4 o'clock. No, actually, I was going to say, this is just one for David. I was going to say 4 o'clock on the fields in Surrey, but I'm never up early enough to get to that boot sale. I don't enjoy boot sales. I don't enjoy them. No, I don't enjoy the people who get in the boots, and I don't enjoy the mad, frantic rush and at times the desperation that you see at a boot sale. So I tend to avoid them. Apart from smaller little local ones that are just really gentle and you can have a chat with people, I quite enjoy those, but probably the boot sales. Yeah,
you can't stand that bum fight kind of.
I don't like the bum fight now, and I don't like getting up that early.
No.
So if we can find a boot sale that starts later, all the better.
Yeah, we love a yard sale event around here, and when we were in Norfolk, they suit us. It's like a little treasure hunt, literally driving around with a map. We love it.
Because it is really nice and relaxed, and it just feels like you're on a day out. It's
relaxed until we start arguing about where we're supposed to be going with a map.
But that's just bickering. That's not.
Totally.
I just wanted to highlight George. I don't know if you follow George's channel, but he's in a similar situation. He's got a great job and he's doing this on the side. He says, very similar position here. Love my full-time job. It's full of opportunities and a decent salary. So no plans to take reselling full-time. It purely pays for childcare, holidays, etc.
Yeah. And then Steve says, totally agree with this. I've been full-time on eBay a couple of times, but far prefer part-time. Like Ian says, it takes pressure off.
Yeah, it can still be fun and almost still a glorified hobby. Would you still class it as a hobby, or do you see it as a business, that side of things?
Yeah, calling it part-time is quite misleading because it's not part-time. You know, it is a viable part of income, and I do prefer to call it hobby. Yeah, it is a hobby because the money has got no real purpose to it. It's sociable money. It's there to be spent how you want to be. It's a hobby that just pays a bit of money, isn't it?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Did you?
Yeah, I just highlighted this. Trotter's Delights. Ian is one of the nicest people that you will ever meet in the reselling world. It was a joy to meet him at the Reseller Summit. One love, brother. It's Trotter.
There we go. I told you there were some big names in the chat, didn't I? Trotter is a big name. What a lovely guy.
David says, I'm with you, Ian. I gave up my full-time job as a policy officer at the Scottish government to resell. I lost a big chunk of money, but I hated sitting at a desk watching my government waste billions.
Yeah. That's the other side of it. If somebody watching this is genuinely unhappy in their job and it's making them unhappy, then maybe trying to find a way out is the goal. And it was certainly our goal. And it worked for us. The other thing is, I don't think reselling is right for everyone. I think you suggested that as well. It's something you have to have a passion for, I think. Otherwise, it's just a lot of work for not necessarily a great income.
Absolutely.
But the freedoms worked for us, and it gave us freedom from the man and having a boss and all those things that used to stress me out to the max.
And also, when you were talking about childcare, we were able, for the most part, to not have, well, we didn't pay for childcare. Your parents helped out on a Saturday, and my nan helped out one evening a week. And, it was, for the most part, she was with us. Yeah,
we took the jump just after we had our first daughter, well, our only daughter, actually. And then we went into retail. So my parents, thankfully, were there. So on a Saturday, they could have her when she was going to school or nursery. Yeah. So that was covered.
When we first started, though, she was toddling about and everything was just chaos, wasn't it? But we were the happiest we'd ever been in our lives, I think.
Yeah. A challenge makes life interesting. Put it that way. We had no money, renting a house and a new baby. Let's quit our jobs. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Fair play.
And yeah, it's amazing.
I wanted to ask, or have you done that question?
No, not yet.
Oh, let's do that while you've got it.
David asks, where do you see your reselling business in 5 years' time? Do you think your reselling business will ever be your number one income stream? I think you touched on that, but
yeah, no, I think that's a fair question. Actually, takes a bit of thought as well, because I've been able to make my £500 profit per month and overpay my mortgage. 5 years' time, I'm going to be thinking, hang on a minute, a significant chunk of my outgoings are now no longer outgoings. I now have a bit more financial flexibility. So perhaps at that time, I might be able to leave that full-time job. And even if it's not doing reselling, I might be able to do another passion or hobby or other job in a different field that maybe gives more satisfaction. I don't know, David, and I think that's okay to not know. But the second part of that, do you think reselling business will be your number one income? I think one thing that is not talked about enough with resellers on YouTube or social media in particular is when we're doing reselling, it's not just the eBay that's bringing in money, it's YouTube as well that is bringing in money. And right now, my eBay and YouTube is probably 50-50. They're both bringing in equal amounts. Yeah. So, I don't know. And that changes month by month. Some month eBay will be bigger. Other months YouTube will just be massively bigger than what I bring in on eBay. So there's always that balance between those two as well.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
that's got to be the same with you guys as well, surely. For looking at the size of my channel, looking at the size of your channel, YouTube must be bringing in a nice amount of money to take the pressure off of eBay a bit, surely.
Yeah, we've been fairly open about that. It's down a little bit from where it was. We make about 1,000 a month on YouTube. That's not, and more if we're doing some partnership deals or other stuff. But the side of YouTube that I never predicted was that our viewers love to support what we do. And we sell stuff to our viewers. If I do a haul video, I did a haul of these Jurassic Park dinosaurs. I don't know if you've seen that. I sold bits from that directly to viewers. Every time we show stuff, people get in touch and say, I'll have that off you. And that's been a side of the business thanks to YouTube. It's not direct YouTube income, but it is really. So yeah, YouTube has been incredibly helpful for the business. Let's put it that way.
Not something that we courted, but it just happened.
I could never have imagined it.
And it's been
same.
Yeah. We often say when we talk about YouTube, I didn't know you could monetize it when I started. I didn't know it was a thing. I assumed that Google just kept all of that ad revenue. When I found out I could share it with them, I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Love a bit of that. Yeah.
No,
I want to quickly go back to sourcing. You mentioned you're not a big fan of the boot sales. So what is your, I've seen recently you done some great charity shop vlogs. So is that your main source?
Charity shops are my main source of things to sell on eBay. Yeah, they are. And that surprises a lot of people. But I find around here, our charity shops are very reasonably priced. The quality is hit or miss, but you get that everywhere. And whether it's a good sign or not, there are a lot of charity shops here. It's probably not a good sign for the general high street, but for me, it's great. But what I am finding now is that there is competition near me, and there's competition for everybody, but there's a lot of competition around here because the prices are good. And the boot sales aren't particularly good. There aren't many. They're not on all year round. So I think a lot of people do rely on those charity shops. But for me, charity shops is the best sourcing.
And tell us whereabouts in the country are you? We can tell from the accent roughly, but
So I'm based in Cardiff, and that is where I do most of my charity shopping. But I saw Project Games mentioned a comment there about when am I going to meet up with the Welsh poker picker. That's another reseller who lives close to me, and we often go up some of the Welsh valleys together, and we go up through up to various little towns, vlogging as we go, telling a bit of a story about the towns we go in, as well as whatever we pick up.
I'll tell you something. I saw recently you found a jibber jabber. Was that you? I'm sure it was.
That was me.
Going back to YouTube, and YouTube still amazes me. It's literally a minute long video. I think it's 59 seconds of me saying, this is a jibber jabber. This is the noise it made. They were made in 93 or whatever by so-and-so. And I just threw it up on YouTube maybe 10 years ago. That minute long video has made nearly £700 now.
No.
200K views. Yeah. I'll share it with you later. It's a mad one, literally a minute long, and it's crap.
Wow.
It's still turned like 100 views a day or something consistently. £700. So that's one of the joys of YouTube that I think people don't talk about enough is your history, your catalog can make you money. There's usually a handful of videos, I'm sure you've got them, that are perennial, that just sit there getting views. And it's you invest those few hours to make it, and it can sit there and tick along. And I love that about YouTube.
Yeah. So the ones that I get that are similar to that, I've never had a video go viral. I'm just not clickbaity enough. But whenever I used to go around with my son, he loved Jellycats. He loved Jellycats. This was 5 years ago. And we were picking them up for £1, 50p, and they were everywhere. But I do a little video of like, this is the Jellycat we found today. And they were getting 0 to 10 views. And now all of a sudden, Jellycats are the big deal. All of these old, like you say, these grainy, horrible, dodgy videos are now shooting up in views.
Yeah. It's funny as well. Some of the ones for us that have done in our little world quite well, like the 200 to 500,000 views. I wish I could go back and do them properly, make a decent job of it. Right? Some of them are terrible, and most of my videos are, but yeah, I just wish I could go and actually put some effort into the ones. If I'd known they were going to go on to be viewed by 500,000 people, I'd actually put some effort in. But anyway,
Sid's Emporium says, have you found that charity shops are getting more expensive? Because in my area, they certainly are getting more expensive.
They are. Yeah, they are. And I think that's a common message across everyone. I think the easy thing to blame for all this is charity shops are now looking on eBay, selling stuff on eBay themselves. So they want to try and recoup a bit more money through the shop. And that might be true. But I think the general cost of living has gone up. So charity shops have probably lifted prices up. What used to be £1 is now £3. What used to be £3 is £5. There's a general shift in price hike anyway, even if it wasn't for the extra bit that we're always accused of.
Yeah.
Also, that their overheads are up. You know, I mean,
their overheads are up, and they have certain targets that they have to hit, which are set by, you know, the people high up in the charities.
Well, firstly, they're a business charity. They are raising money for charities, but they are a business and they have overheads and they have targets. So funnily enough, a charity shop manager got in touch with me and said that they'd love to come on and chat. I don't know whether we can arrange that, but I'm hoping to. That will be fascinating to hear direct from the horse's mouth, you know, the things they struggle with and the realities of running a charity shop. So hopefully we can get that arranged.
Yeah, no, I think that would be really interesting. Like I said, because most of my sourcing is charity shops, and Cardiff isn't the smallest place. Cardiff's not the biggest place. Everyone in Wales talks to each other. We're all friendly, see, so we're always talking to each other. So I've got a good connection with a few of the charity shop workers, and yeah, the stuff that they have to go through. I'm thinking now, the number of donations they get through and the rubbish that comes into the shop. Half the time people are using charity shops now as glorified dumps. You know, I don't want to take my waste up to the dump because I got to book it in. I got a particular time slot. Let's take it down to the charity shop. And they're then paying to get it dumped themselves. Yeah. So yeah, it's not easy. It's not easy for them.
Yeah. And I do sympathize with that. Although there's another side to that, and George is in the chat, has tried his hand at dumpster diving and he's made videos about it. We dabbled in that a bit. Some of the stuff that they're throwing away is ludicrous as well. So there's two sides to that story. But yeah, maybe we'll get this manager on.
Certainly not rubbish.
Yeah.
The ones that pain me the most is the charity shops that won't sell anything that doesn't have a CE mark. So any of those old toys from the 80s or 90s, the Transformers, anything like that, they're all in the bin out the back. And he said,
saw that in
crying shame.
Videos. Yeah.
It's an absolute crying shame, you know. And what I've seen other charity shops do is actually put a label on saying, this is not a toy. Of course it's a toy. Of course it is. But they're writing that to get away from that legislation.
This is a collectible toy and you can get around it. But yeah, the stuff, I mean, again, that could be a whole other video because we've dabbled in that world and it is truly shocking, the volume of stuff that is certainly reusable, recyclable, some of it worth a lot of money anyway. We could go down a whole rabbit hole.
It's shocking sometimes, it really is. Shelley says that the jellies are thin on the ground now. Yeah.
Well, that's more a kind of common. They became collectible. It became common knowledge. So that was always going to happen, I think. And I think you touched on it in your video. You were saying whether they never make it to the shop floor now because some canny manager knows. Maybe they go to their eBay shop, which in a way they should do because the charity's there to make the most money out of the stuff. Yeah. So you can't argue with it. But I don't know the last one I found.
Yeah. I would rather them sell it on eBay than put it in the bin.
Well, yeah.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
And I think price on it and it hasn't sold.
Yeah, and I think just the last point really to touch on with the charity shops is they're saying a lot of people aren't even donating the good stuff to the charity shops anymore. A lot of people are just selling stuff on Vinted. Vinted's dead easy to sell on, isn't it? I think eBay's pretty easy to sell on once you get the hang of it. So people are now just selling their own personal stuff off themselves. So how many people are going to really chuck a jelly cat into the charity shop when they know they could sell it for 30 quid online? They're not.
Yeah, and the value of those became common knowledge. There's so many markets that have gone like that. It's like video games, which I know is something you're into. You share that with me. It's kind of common knowledge that anything vintage Nintendo is worth money now. The average Joe on the street knows that. Whereas when I started, I felt like I was in a minority that I knew old video games were worth money. Now it's common knowledge, and Jellycats is in that realm now.
Yeah, it is. It is. It's just in that. There's so many people out there who collect them, So the knowledge just gets around that way. And that's the same with same with video games, Nick, isn't it? People now collect them. They don't buy them to play them. They collect them. They put them on shelves like books. And the thing that I like with video games as well is you can take them down to CEX and you get instant cash for them. You haven't even got to sell them online. Just take a big bag into CEX and they give you money for them.
Yeah, I saw you're building up credit to trade in for something that you can then maybe sell for the max value you can and get the cash out that way, which I know a good friend of mine, Tom, the English Picker, used to do a lot of that. I think he still does.
I absolutely love that. If you find a little Blu-ray for 50p and you might be able to trade it in for £2, I've got this stack of DVDs and Blu-rays that build up, take them down CEX, you have a nice bit of voucher, spend it on a game or buy some Warhammer with it. I tell you, you can buy Warhammer with it.
I used to do well with controllers, trading in controllers, Wii controllers, this, that, and the other, and that soon built up credit.
There's a few boys I know who, rather than testing consoles they find, they take them down CEX, get CEX to test them, say, okay, I've changed my mind, I don't want to trade it in. So CEX do all the testing for him. Bit naughty, but it's what it is.
Yes. Well, we used to own a very similar to a CEX store, so we know all about that sort of thing.
Peter Ray says, what's your favourite pickup? And his favourite pickup was Rome Total War board game.
So that's a board game I picked up. When was it? That would have been last month. I chose not to go to the big boot sale by me, Sully, biggest one down in South Wales. I chose to have a lie-in. I chose to go a later one at 10 o'clock because I could take my son along as well. And there was 6 cars there. There was only 6 cars. So you turn up there. I had the choice to go to the biggest one in Wales. I didn't. There was only 6 cars. I was like, what have I done here? But there was one stall. And it had this stack of board games. They were board games. They were like Kickstarter board games. So they were crowdfunded, limited number that had been made, and they were giving them away for £2 or £3 each. And I had this Rome Total board game for £3. That sold for 80. I had this other game called In the Depths or something. Loads of little wooden pieces and it had thousands of pieces in it. I counted them all. That went for £100 off of £2. Board games. Brilliant.
Yeah. There's money in board games, funnily enough.
Is there?
Yeah. I love it. I think I love selling board games as much as video games these days. Something about it. I mean, I was into them in my childhood, so that helps, going back to the you sell what you love thing. And I can't get enough of it. Yeah, I've still got a loft full of Warhammer and board games and associated stuff from one contact. Selling on for him. It's huge.
Yeah. So Nick, are you ever tempted to do any of it yourself? Is there something that say you would buy a bundle of and you would find it really hard to sell?
Not really. My only passion and the only thing I'm really keeping now is vinyl. Is
the vinyls.
I do sometimes hold stuff back and look after it for a while. You know, we're both very good at that. We might play the odd thing. Same with video games. I might keep a system sometimes and play with it, but it all gets passed on. I've lost the collecting itch until lockdown happened. And I got back into vinyl, but that is it for me. I spend probably too much money on vinyl, but that is my only vice now. Yeah,
interesting.
I had a question. Go on.
Sorry, Chris is asking, do you still do the podcasts with Rummage Around and Ricky?
I do not. Unfortunately, unfortunately, I don't. It was funny. It all just went its own separate way. And we've kind of never really picked it back up. But so I started YouTube the same time as Kieran, Rummage Around, and Ricky followed. But we're always on the end of like an Instagram message with each other. Everyone in the community talks to each other.
Yeah, it's fascinating, especially when we all get together for like the eBay Open or something, and then there's the crossover of all these little groups that form naturally, and everyone's so friendly. I've recently got to know Simon, Gentleman Marketeer. He's coming down here next week for a visit on Wednesday.
Is he now?
He's going to come and look around this chaos, and he's the most organised man in reselling, and he's coming here.
He's in the chat.
Simon's in the chat. He's my absolute guilty pleasure. I love watching his videos. Just guilty pleasure, absolutely. So you'll both go into the eBay meetup. When is it? Next Wednesday? Wednesday?
The Open.
Yeah.
Is that the one in Birmingham?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Nice. Yeah. Same here. I'll see you.
You're going down. Oh, excellent.
Yeah,
Yeah, there's going to be loads of us up there. So it will be good fun.
It's going to be a good day.
Going back, you were talking about collecting and what do I keep hold of? What am I looking for? And that sort of thing. I've got written down here because I think you said to me when we were chatting before, it's hard to pass on a nostalgia item.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you about this thin line between collecting and reselling. How does that work with you?
Have you got the answer?
Well, I've kind of stopped all my collecting until I got back into vinyl. I really did draw a line under all of it. I'm interested to know how you balance that if you are still collecting and reselling. Where do you draw the lines?
I can't balance it. I can't. So I had a real eye-opening moment. It would have been about 12 months ago. We had our loft converted, put a bedroom up there, staircase up there. And I took everything out of the loft and I put it all just in the room that I'm looking at now. And it was full. Not just one layer, boxes and boxes full. And I was just like, I'm like, I am a hoarder. I'm a hoarder. Like, what is all of this stuff here? I got Pokemon cards up there, the first 3 or 4 original vintage sets, all complete. I got 5 boxes of Transformers. I got retro PS1 games, video games. But it is those nostalgic items and mainly toys. And I reckon a psychologist would have a field day with me. There's probably something that's happened that's made me attached to it all. But, Biker Mice from Mars, Ghostbusters, Thundercats, Street Sharks, the whole lot, loads of it. Yeah. And it's stuff that I've picked up with the intent to resell. And I've kind of blamed it on the people who watch my channel like to see me pick that type of stuff up. So I've said, I've picked it up because I got it for the channel. I haven't picked it up for the channel. I picked it up for me. But what also makes it hard, I think, Andrew, you just touched on it, is it's hard to know when to sell this stuff as well, because the price just keeps going up and up and up and up. Like it just appreciates over time. So if I sell it now, is it going to be worth more in 5 years? I've always got that going on in my head as well.
Yeah.
But then conversely, what happens if it drops off?
There's certainly been a few times in my life back when I used to have all sorts of collections, and I've had to ask myself the question, why? I had tens of thousands of cigarette cards, a collection I inherited from my grandfather, something we did together that was pure nostalgia, right? I did that with my granddad. It was really his collection. I felt like I was custodian of it, and I loved it. But they sat on a shelf for a decade, right? So why am I keeping it? My daughter's not interested. I'm not going to pass it on. So I made the difficult decision to start breaking that down and sell it on. And once I kind of broke that seal with those, the rest of it all went quite easily after that.
Yeah.
And because I scratched the collecting itch by buying a Jurassic Park collection last week, buying some Warhammer today, right? I scratched the itch. I just don't keep it. That's kind of where I'm at these days. And I'm fine with that.
Yeah. And that's exactly where I would love to get to. So last week I picked up some Warhammer off of Facebook Marketplace, fully with the intent to resell it. But there was a few little figures that were only part complete. So I thought, let's go and buy some glue. Let's buy a little knife just to tidy them up. And let's get some paints to then do it. What was 180 quid pickup has now turned into a 350 quid pickup because I've got all the paints and all the gear now. And I'm not going to sell it. I'm going to build it and I'm going to do it. It's just the way it is.
I watched a video when you picked it up, and there's a part of my brain going, "He's keeping that. He's keeping that."
It was never in doubt, really, was it? But again, just to put in the serious point on it, because I don't have a need for that money, and this is just a hobby for me. Again, I don't have that pressure to sell. If it was a job and I needed the income, my mind might be different.
What I was going to say, just going back to your collecting, and when you brought it all down, you could see it all laid out and you had that holy crap kind of moment. I think one thing that I've heard other people say this is if you're not displaying or enjoying your collection, that's when maybe you need to shrink it down. Have you had that conversation, or is that a part of it for you?
I have, and it's something I've thought about, but you can't you can't display everything, can you? Like
No.
if you've got a binder full of cards, you collect Pokemon cards, you can't display it. You know,
Right.
I think there's a comfort in knowing that you have something
Sure.
in there,
Yeah.
which is in itself is a strange feeling.
The whole collecting thing is odd. If you really break it down, the whole thing is odd. But I understand all of the triggers and stuff about collecting. I can feel my brain going there quite often, and I've managed to keep it under control. But then again, we all need a hobby, and there's nothing wrong in, you know, enjoying your money and spending it on things you love. So
yeah, exactly. And the thing is, like, the nature of the things I collect, they are inherently valuable as well. They'll be valuable to someone. So I'm not just buying rubbish and filling it with rubbish. I'm buying value, and it's stuff that when time comes, I can either pass it on if I can't feel like I can sell it, and it'll still be worth money.
Yeah, it sounds like most of your collecting has been wise investments, so you're doing okay. And going back, I didn't touch on it, but when you were saying about paying off your mortgage, I mean, we went through that years ago, and well done you. I mean, it's a great decision, and you're just paying it all forward. And the money you will save in interest is eye-watering.
Absolutely, absolutely. You know, it's you know, getting rid of that debt or getting rid of that mortgage is it is an aspirational goal, and it will give you so much more financial freedom once that happens.
100%.
Until the kids go to university, and then I'm forking out however much per year that is nowadays.
Yeah, we've just come out the other side of that. But anyway, Simon, hello, says, do you want to read that? You highlighted that one.
Yeah, question for all three. What's the one thing you are still looking for to put in the collection? Start with you, Ian.
Big. Oh, you could have given me some time to think about that. No, big question. And actually, it's strange. I don't know. I don't know. I want to collect some until I stumble across it. You know what I mean? There's a few things that I would like. What I'm into right now is football cards and football stickers, and I'd love to own a Cristiano Ronaldo hand signed football card. But to get one of those, it's 200-300 quid off of eBay. Yeah. So I could just go and get one with the eBay stuff that I'm earning, but that wouldn't give me the satisfaction. Part of the collection for me is not about the item; it's about how you found the item.
Oh, I love that.
You know what I mean,
yes. Well, if carrying on from that, if I were to answer that question, there's some rare Depeche Mode 12-inch singles that I could probably find within a month or two. They come up fairly regularly on eBay and pay 100 quid for one of the rare ones. But I want to get a bargain. I want to hunt it down and get it cheap. I can't help myself. I could save up and afford to buy these items, but I have to get them cheap enough that if I wanted to sell it on, I'd make some money. Why is that a thing in my head? But it is.
Yeah.
I don't just want to pay full retail for things.
Exactly. In fact, one of my favorite Transformers I've got is one called Anita Prime. It stands about that big, not particularly rare, but I found it in pieces in the bottom of a 50p box. The head, someone had taken the head off, the arms were off, the body was off. And I rummaged through this box and I found all the little individual pieces, put them all together. And the guy said, "Oh, you can have it for 50p." And I was like, "Well, I've found it in 6 parts, so here's 3 quid." And that's my favorite Transformer I've got. It's not worth much, but it's because I found it and I built it together and I've saved it.
Totally get that. What was your answer to that question?
I don't really collect anything.
No, well, you've started picking up vinyl again, haven't you?
Yeah, but not as a collection, really. No. Just to listen to.
But then you are collecting Hornsey pottery.
Oh.
Well, yes and no. Only in terms of so that I can use it. Like I don't collect it to just display it. So yeah, I like having it because it's really attractive to look at. Shelley said mugs.
Nice.
I've scaled back on mugs. Apart from the gift that you gave me, Shelley, I'm selling my Cath Kidston mugs.
Yeah.
So
with no pressure from me, I might add chat before we have a go.
It's space really, and yeah.
Well, the practicalities of when we sold up in Norfolk and moved here, we living space wise, we've kind of downsized, which was tricky when we had so much stuff because we took out a lot of equity from the last house, but meant we took on a smaller one. Although we have this lovely basement for work now, which is great. So we've kind of had to be a bit ruthless with some stuff, haven't we? We've still got too much stuff. Still got too much. Okay, let's see if we've got any more questions coming in. Now then, here's an interesting one. We always get around to returns at some point. Do you get many returns first off, and how do you handle that?
I don't get many returns, and I don't know if that's just a rarity and whether other people find that. But because I do generally sell toys, board games, and just collectibles in general, people tend to know what they're buying, and because of the people who buy them will be adding them to collections, they'll look at your pictures. They'll make sure it's right before they buy it. So I don't get too many. The most returns I've had have been clothing items, and I cannot stand selling clothing items. Hate it. Absolutely hate it. And just the return, whether it's the culture of like the online people buying clothes and returning them, I don't know. But it's clothes. Every time I sell clothes, I tend to get returns.
Yeah, that's our experience.
Yeah.
And a lot of the niches I sell in, very, very few returns. Like you say, collectors will ask all the questions up front that they want to know, or they will study the pictures. And because I know the markets, I've already explained all of the issues or whatever. So very, very few returns. But clothing. I mean, we moved away from clothing, and that was one of the reasons, I think, that the level of returns and the faff and
Shirley says Ellen might need some mugs one day. Funnily enough, Ellen has got a lot of her own mugs.
She doesn't need any mugs, Shirley.
She loves pottery mugs, so she's collected up. She's bought herself like pottery mugs when we've been out and about. She's not lacking in mugs. She's kind of got that from me.
She's not lacking. So is Ellen showing any signs and being interested in kind of reselling and working with you? No,
absolutely the opposite. She doesn't want to have anything to do with it.
No,
I tried to get her into it when, during the pandemic and stuff, and she bought some clothes and she listed them on Depop, but she really wasn't into it. She really wasn't. She's an illustrator, very talented, so she wants to build that up as like a sort of hobby sideline along with what she does as a main job.
She's more excuse me,
she wants to do illustration fairs and like selling shops and that sort of stuff. But
interesting now, because I've got two young sons, and I do take them with me on the school holidays, and I don't go to early boot sales on the weekends, so I can take them along with me. I can't take them along at silly o'clock, and they enjoy it. But I think they enjoy just having pocket money. So I give them give them some money each. So it's the novelty of actually using coins, and they get to go home with some toys. Like, what is there not to love? It's such an easy thing for me to sell to them. Whether they'll want to do it in the future, I don't know.
Yeah, I have such fond memories of looking back to when we first jumped into this full time, and Ellen was a baby, going around the boots fairs with her in a pushchair and filling it up with stuff. And she grew up, and she's grown up her entire life being surrounded by this chaos.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's put her off.
Shelley says that she's already got the collecting tendencies then, obviously, with buying the mugs and stuff. Maybe.
Ellen is a collector. She has a vinyl collection. She buys a lot of band merch. She's currently in Canada to see a band, 21 Pilot. She flew to Canada to go to 2 gigs. She's seen the same band, 20 times in the last 2 years?
Yeah, something like that.
So she's passionate about stuff, and collecting comes along with that, but I don't think she'll be a reseller.
And yes, RS Harris says, is Ellen still into her dancing? Yeah, absolutely. She always will be.
Yeah, she may still be a professional dancer. She's not really sure. She's currently a barista.
Yeah. She calls that her muggle job, though.
Yes.
Great term.
Like most creatives, you end up in retail or
to fund the passion.
But she's very passionate about coffee, though.
So believe it or not, Ian, we've already done an hour, so we'll start wrapping this up shortly. So people,
well, I've got time. Yeah, I'm in no rush.
Well, we'll carry on for a bit. What we like to do with these chats when we end is we ask the chat for their words of wisdom, and they'll share some words of wisdom, and we'll read them out. And then when we have a guest, it's up to you to pick a favorite, something that resonates with you, that means something to you. So we'll get onto that in a bit. So chat, think about some wows for us. Do you want to read out David's question?
Yeah, David says, do you use the global shipping program through eBay? I've been thinking of using it for some time to start selling abroad, but I'm concerned it's too complicated. Any thoughts?
Just do it, David. Just do it. The global shipping program, and it's exactly the same as eBay. It's very easy to overcomplicate. It's dead easy, my friend. And I handwrite all of my addresses. And if you get an order through the global shipping program, they give you a reference number. Just write the reference number, which they give you in the address anyway, and it works. You just get given an address to post to, and it's exactly the same as selling in the UK. Just do it, David.
I will completely echo that, David. It's one of the best things eBay did. They don't do many things well sometimes, and it takes them a while to iron out the issues, but GSP is fantastic.
Yeah.
You just send it to a UK address as you would send anywhere in the UK, and that's it. You're done.
Yeah.
Print it off, or write it out as Ian would.
And right, nothing wrong with that.
and away it goes.
Yeah.
So jump in and do it. There's nothing. It's not complicated. It really isn't, honestly.
Yeah. Although GSP did annoy me last week. Again, talking about Warhammer, I sold 3 different listings. I listed 3 separate listings of Warhammer Rep, and the same person in Australia bought all 3, but they didn't make the purchase at the same time. So I had 3 different reference numbers. I had to send 3 different packages, and it was all going to the same person. Now, it's fine. It's fine. You know, I'd obviously factor that into the cost of kind of what I'd sold, but I phoned eBay up and said, look, there's a bit of common sense here. I could put all 3 of these things into a box. The guy's going to get 1 box. I'm going to send 1 box. It's good for sustainability. I'm only sending 1 parcel rather than 3. Is this something I can do? And it was like one of the reference numbers had already been created.
Yeah.
Computer says no. Come on.
Yeah.
I
think Lex came undone with that at some point because she did send everything all together, and
you can't.
It was something like that, I think.
Yeah, it's frustrating. And of course, the person wherever in Australia was it that they'll have paid 3 times some extortionate amount of shipping. So it isn't perfect, but it is really good. Whoever we were talking to before, was it David?
Yeah. David, it was, and David's just put a message then saying that he's going to give it a go. So let me know how you get on, David. Let me know how that goes for you.
SD Flip says that 21 Pilots are quite possibly the best band on the planet right now. They're definitely up there. I think they're fantastic.
They're very good, and we have an obsessed daughter.
Absolutely obsessed. Secret Carper says, not a reselling question, but if you could jam with one music star, who would it be, dead or alive?
Big question. See, I'm not a massive music buff, but like my music taste was shaped by Tony Hawk Pro Skater on the PlayStation 1. That's when I got into music. So it's very punk pop, very skate pop. And there's a good Welsh band called Neck Deep. And I've seen them 5 or 6 times. It's not on Ellen levels of fandom, but I've seen them 5 or 6 times. And I would love to sing their hit song on stage with them. It would be amazing. It'd be a great feeling.
Because Nick coughed at exactly that moment.
Yeah, I didn't.
They're called Neck Deep. They're from Wrexham.
I have heard the name. I've never listened to them. I will search them up on Spotify.
Yeah,
give them a go.
Who would it be for you?
Well, I can't play an instrument, so I don't know about jamming.
If you could sing or whatever.
It would be Depeche Mode, I would imagine. Yeah. Just to be on stage or somewhere near them performing. I mean, I've seen them many times, but just to stand on the side of the stage would be enough.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to join in necessarily because I don't have any talent, but
I think it would be Michael Jackson. I'd want to dance with him.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mystery Gardener says, can I thank you all for making videos? I'm disabled and watching you 3 makes things good. Thank you.
Appreciate that, Mr. Gunn. Appreciate that.
Wow.
Yeah, really appreciate that.
Yeah, thank you. That means the world. It's comments like that, genuinely. I know it sounds a bit glib, but it's comments like that that do make it all worthwhile. So thank you.
Limelight Vinty says, Ian, do you miss selling the Spice Girls key ring? Which Spice Girl was the fastest seller?
Oh, I missed all this. What's that about?
Ginger Spice flew. She flew out the door. No, I found a big tray of Spice Girls key rings, all brand new from when they were famous in the 90s. And it was, I paid 10p each for them, something like that. And I thought, well, I'm just going to sell them. And I had big multi-quantity listings. And for whatever reason, the people who were into the channel at the time, it became this thing that like the subscribers would buy a keyring. And people were asking me to sign the backs of these blooming keyrings. So I had to come up with a Master of Pieces signature to go on the back. Yeah, mad. But it was fun. But Ginger Spice, Limelighty, it was Ginger Spice. She flew.
I don't know if I would have expected that, but there we are.
It was always sporty for me, although
fans she had the voice, didn't she? She had the voice. Sporty.
Yes.
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 Well, so does Mel C. She's your fave, isn't she?
That's what I said, sporty.
Oh, sorry, I missed that. I just got a notification. And the wows have started as well. Okay.
No problem, David. Thank you all. You have convinced me. Really appreciate your comments. First time live tonight. Thank you so much. You are very welcome. Okay. I thought someone would tell you to get a printer.
No, there's been a few people. There've been a few people saying get a printer, but I get into like a rhythm of it, and it's the only time I ever now use a pen. Like, when was the last time you've ever written something apart from a birthday card, for example? Like, when do you ever do handwriting? And it's just nice.
All the time, genuinely.
You want to get an iPad.
I'm old school.
You want to get an iPad or something.
Just on that note, do your kids at school use like tablets and laptops and whatever for work?
Because we ain't got any money in Wales. No, they barely have books.
Our nieces have just started secondary school and have had to go with a laptop each.
No, we haven't got that. Where do they go to school?
They don't write anything down anymore. They have to type it. It's like, what is going on?
Yeah, like, this is in where we used to live in Hertfordshire there.
And yet when it comes to exams, they have to write everything. So
they've got to write it.
It's crazy.
No chat GPT in exams then.
Imagine.
Will has started us off with the words of wisdom. Your happiness depends on the quality of your thoughts.
Straight in with deep ones.
Project Game says that 21 Pilots are amazing.
Lots of
indeed.
Yeah, lots of fans in.
Fanboy. Project Games.
Lainey says, we will fail the most when we fail to try.
That's a good one.
Yeah. Right. I'm just scooching down to find the words of wisdom. Flippy Maggie says, ask your customer if they would like to cancel their multi-GSP purchases and you will create a bundle listing for them.
Yeah, Flippy Maggie, that is, do you work for eBay? Because that is exactly what they told me to do. They said, you know what you should do? Just cancel the 3, put them as one bundle and sell them like that. And maybe I should have done.
It's a lot of hassle though. And you are then trusting that then they are actually going to rebuy.
Yeah, exactly.
I have done that once or twice, but it's a lot of faff. You're right, Ian. It should be easy. Oh, can we combine these on GSP? Done.
Yeah. And also, we've had it sometimes where we've done a special listing for someone and they've delayed buying it and then someone else has bought it.
Someone else bought it. We had that.
Really?
Yep. Well, no, actually, the recent one I had, we have had that. But recently, somebody wanted a load of these D&D scenery packs, and they picked the packs they wanted. They negotiated a discount with me. I said, I'm going to end them all. And it's because they were in America, I think. I built a special listing, agreed a discounted price, set it up for them, and they didn't bother. Then they ghosted me. But then another buyer comes along like a week. I just left it live. I'm like, I've done all the effort now. I'll just leave that on.
Yeah.
And someone else bought it anyway. So it wasn't the end of the world, but people are so annoying. It's like...
Chris says, Frisbee began as pie tins tossed around by college students.
Wow.
I never knew that.
That's more like fact of the day, that one.
I tell you, that wow there, that's going to take some beating.
You like that one? Okay.
I do, yeah. I do, because that sums up kind of how I got into eBay and started YouTube out. Just
nice.
Didn't ever expect anything to come of it. And then all of a sudden, here I am talking to you guys 9:10 on a Sunday. Like, that's going to take some beating, that one.
R.S. Harris says, have you seen Nick dressed as a Spice Girl?
I have not. Which one did you dress up as?
Did you not see that? This was, you know, we're doing the charity event with Lainey that you're hopefully going to take part in soon. We've been doing those for years. And during COVID, we did like an online festival.
No, it was the year after. We did the 90s festival.
Okay.
In 21.
So 22 it would have been then. And there's 21. One of the evening's events was I roped in 4 other blokes to come on a live stream like this, and we all dressed up as a Spice Girl. And we were interviewed by Lainey in the role, dressed up. I did the whole tattoos of Sporty Spice. I had an Adidas like crop top on.
Adidas trousers, everything.
Yeah, it happened.
Yeah. What did you think of that, Andrea?
I thought it was hilarious.
Fair play.
Yeah.
Yeah, so where are we? Porky. Work smart, play hard. Life is about balance, so don't let the pursuit of success make you forget the joy of living. Yeah, I really like that one. I've heard
that one a bit. Nice.
Really like that one.
Porky's good at these.
Yeah.
He always comes up with something.
And Ross says, Wales never fails.
Solid. Absolutely. No truer word spoken.
So not so many wows tonight, but is your favourite still the one you said?
Yeah, Chris Tyler. For me, that's my one.
The Frisbee.
I'm quite a simple person, and that's quite a easy one to understand.
Well, it fits in as well with your love for toys and that sort of stuff and vintage items.
Gravitated to it.
There is a quick one from Lainey here. Since you liked the other one, bubble wrap was originally created as wallpaper.
No.
What? No, it wasn't.
Is that
not a thing? Absolutely not. Although I'm intrigued now. I've got some bubble wrap there, I might hang it up on the wall. See what it looks like.
Googling that.
That's weird.
Okay. Right. Well, that was fantastic. I knew it would be. Thank you so much for spending the time with us, Ian.
No, thank you for having me. I got a busy evening now. I got 14 items sold this weekend, which is big for me. I've got to pack all those now tonight, get them down the post office tomorrow. The joys of being, I'm not going to say part-time, a hobby reseller.
Yeah. You have to get it all done on a Sunday night. Oh, that would
do it tonight because I'm shift starts 9 o'clock tomorrow.
Wow.
Apparently, it was in the 50s that it was designed as wallpaper. That's really strange.
What if it pops? If it popped, you'd have to go and redo it all the time, wouldn't you? Oof.
You'd just stand there like that.
You would, or
wouldn't you?
Keep leaning on it, wouldn't you?
Well, we will leave everyone on that bombshell. Yeah. Bubble wrap was invented as wallpaper. I have put the links for Ian's YouTube and Instagram down below. Please go and check that out. Subscribe, follow, do all that good stuff. What is the future for your YouTube? Have you got plans, or are you just going to carry on as you are?
No plans, never any plans. I do a live on Tuesday nights because no one else seems to do lives. Like everyone was doing lives at one point. You could go every day of the week and there was always something for people to talk about and to talk to. So Tuesday night, I do it live, 9:15 till 10, just talk everything reselling and run through some eBay sales. And then on the run up to Christmas, it'll probably be 1 video a week, maybe 2. Stuff I find in the charity shop, general reselling chat, things that I've sold. Yeah, keeping it casual.
Fantastic. I will have to try and dip into your live.
Do it.
Yeah, there aren't as many. You're right. We somehow end up being consistent in this. We just keep going regardless. Right.
Yeah.
Are we done?
I think we are.
That was fantastic. Yeah. Thanks again, Ian, and thanks everybody for your comments and your questions, and thanks for being here. We still got 215 of you crazy people with us. If you would like to stroke the like button on the way out and turn off the lights. Cheers, Ian. Take care. We'll speak again soon.
Appreciate it. Nice to see you guys.